"Meghan, I've really made an active effort, especially knowing that I can say anything. This woman really is awful. She left the RF of her own volition, took Harry with her, and she is blaming them for her failure to learn about the position she was privileged enough to get. She now wants to make her fortune by spilling the beans on the secrets she was privy to whilst she was in Buckingham Palace. The more I read about her, the more I really want her to disappear into oblivion. The Sussexes aren't a brand, they haven't actually achieved anything since they left Britain apart from becoming the most detested couple in royal history. Their employment has been questionable as it's become more embarrassing for the companies as people have dropped their subscriptions. I understand that in a desperate bid Spotify has rigged the ratings for Meg to make her appear relevant on their platform as it's becoming a laughingstock. The guests on the show are also represented by Sunshine Each and have been paid to appear as friends of Meg again in a desperate attempt to make her seem popular. Unfortunately, throwing money at anything Meg or Harry does is a total waste of money, but I suppose the companies will just use them for a tax write-off. I doubt William and Kate have any worries about being upstaged by the Sussexes. The Duchess of Sussex's success and attention attracted stateside may represent a long-term headache for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, historian and royal commentator Dr. Tessa Dunlop said. The expert suggested Meghan have created a precedent with her accomplishments that others may want to follow. As a royal reporter in New York, exactly what success has Meghan and Oz had? When they were in New York, my paper did not cover them. Anytime they were in New York, I covered Sophie and Andrew's trial, and will be covering William and Catherine. None of the hosts on any of the radio stations I own covered them. No major press is covering them, and didn't review the podcast Oz was also supposed to have billing on. The statement that the majority of Americans care about those two and false. Appearing on Mail Plus's Palace Confidential program, the historian said, "The bigger picture here, surely, is that in America, where success is much more judged on money and status and the brand, Meghan has blown it out of the water. She is top of the Spotify rankings, everyone is talking about her whether negative or positive. And I think that is a nightmare for the Cambridges going forward. Anybody who is going to want to marry their children, is it going to be for the tinsel, the mantle, to run off into the sunset and create some other idea of royalty? I think it is actually a longer-term nightmare for the institution of monarchy in our country. Because it can be filched, take a bit of it and run off. After carrying out royal duties as a full-time working member of the firm between May 2018 and March 2020, Meghan bowed out of her role within the royal family in the spring of 2 years ago alongside her husband Prince Harry. The Duchess also spoke about her fallout with the royal family. Asked whether there is room for forgiveness between her and her royal in-laws and her own family, Meghan said, "I think forgiveness is really important. It takes a lot more energy to not forgive. But it takes a lot of effort to forgive." This move came after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex had expressed their intention in January 2020 to create a new position for themselves within the royal family, which would have seen them still carrying out some royal duties while becoming independent from taxpayer funding and living between North America and the UK. This half-in, half-out position was not deemed workable by senior members of the firm. The pair have since established their new lives in California, where they continue to work on charitable causes and support their organizations. However, as they no longer receive the sovereign grant, they also pursued profitable deals and, in late 2020, they struck multi-year contracts with streaming giants Netflix and Spotify. After releasing a holiday special jointly with Prince Harry, Meghan launched on August 23 the first episode of her podcast series, Archetypes. This program is set to explore the labels and typecasts that try to hold women back in 12 episodes. The first episode, a conversation with tennis star Serena Williams on the concept of ambition, shot Archetypes first in the Spotify charts in several countries, including the UK and the US. The second episode, released on Tuesday, seemed to confirm the success of Archetypes, with Meghan retaining the top spot in the rankings. The Duchess of Sussex was talked about over the week also due to the release of her front cover interview with New York magazine The Cut. In a lengthy article, the Duchess discussed a range of topics, including how she and Harry got to buy their home in Montecito, Santa Barbara, the education they are providing their children with, and their work with the Sussex's organization Archule, which she described as a startup. I've really made an active effort, especially knowing that I can say anything. I have a lot to say until I don't. Do you like that? Sometimes, as they say, the silent part is still part of the song. Meghan and Prince Harry are to return to Europe next week to attend a few events by organizations close to their heart. After reading the headline, I don't think the Cambridges have too much to worry about in their US visit. The Americans will see the huge difference between them and the $UX's. Methane's notoriety is well known for lying and making the narrative about her. As regards her pathetic attempt at forgiveness, I think her motto is never forgive and never forget. She is too vindictive just to let that go. Oh, bore off Tessa Dollop, what a load of absolute garbage. Markle a success. Consider the latest piece in the New York Post, toddler, and tiara, a send-up, priceless, ridicule, mockery, but so accurate. This is how she's seen now in America. Don't even put her on the same pages as William and Catherine. She is not royal, made that perfectly clear. There is absolutely no comparison. She belongs in the weird section. We can pop over there to drop a comment if we feel the need. Dunlop, why on earth are you focusing on something like marriage for the Cambridge children who are 9, 7 and 4? As for you suggesting Meghan has created a precedent with her accomplishments that others may want to follow, you're not much of an expert, are you? You clearly know nothing about how this chick is viewed in the US. Until recently she was simply ignored, but as of late, she is being dragged for her lies that are being called out more and more. The only thing she's accomplished is failure, and the precedent she has set is putting the bar pretty low. She has set a new precedent that future spouses of royals will be fully vetted, probably not get titles until they've earned it and then some. Her legacy will be that of epic failure and lies, and I'm sure the Cambridge children will have better values and understanding by the time they marry, if they marry, and they won't make the same mistakes their uncle Hapless has. When I read the word accomplishments, I started to laugh. What a lot of trip. His wife is bilingual, she talks rubbish and Yodanese. What has she achieved, besides dragging H to the bottom with her? The Cambridges are real royals, not a dimwit and a self-aggrandizing nobody. Ms. Markle is by no means a success here in the US. She and the prince are riding a downward wave into nothingness. Spotify is a Swedish company, and not the only entertainment platform here in the US. She will have some short-term success, sure, but as her misrepresentations, in being kind, continues to catch up with her, people worldwide will distance themselves from the hateful vitriol coming from Montecito. Seriously, Meghan is not that popular in the US. Only a few of her minions are making it seem otherwise. There are more here loyal to the RF and think Meghan are a disgrace. As for Meghan saying she forgives the RF, there is nothing to forgive, they did nothing wrong. Meghan needs to check herself in for a mental health break. She is delusional. Catherine and William are much loved here. We will welcome them with open arms. Where do you find these experts? Having lived in the US for a number of years, I have found that real Americans find them to be utterly distasteful. America might be a republic, but its people have a strong interest in our royal family and a particular dislike for anybody who shows traitorous tendencies. M is not the flavor of the month. She is followed in the same way as a soap opera would be, amusing, rather tacky entertainment. When William and Catherine arrive, the real show will begin.